So, if you're not familiar with a drummer called Robin Stone Drums, check it out on Facebook. I'll pop a link in the description. But basically, Robin Stone drums, Robin underscore Stone underscore drums. Okay, that's how you'll find him on Facebook. But I'll pop a link. Go and check him out. Basically, this guy's a session drummer, and recently he got a comment in one of his drum video posts. So he'll record little clips of some of the sessions that he's working on. Obviously, he helps promote what he does. Basically, the guy specializes in. He's a session drummer. So you get in touch, you hire him, send him your material, and he'll record the drum parts and send you, drum parts back. In a range of ways. Maybe you've got guide tracks or something like that of roughly what you want it to sound like. Sometimes people ask him to just go for it, do his thing. Anyway, the guy's a very, very supremely accomplished drummer. Absolutely fantastic. So if you don't know of him, I recommend you go and check him out. If you're a fan of technical drumming, you're probably going to enjoy following his page, even just for the enjoyment of watching someone like that work. Anyway, this comment that was left on his page, it can only be described as one of those sort of like Neanderthal metal kind of knucklehead responses to someone else's effort, lifelong effort, and blood, sweat, and tears, and hours and hours and hours of practice, and honing their craft and earning a reputation, to become a sought after session drummer. It's kind of like just one of these comments that's just so stupid in the face of that, and it's really clear and evident. As I said, when you watch his channel, you'll see for yourself how accomplished he is, and if you know of him, then you'll know what a decent drummer he is. Anyway, this comment basically, I'll pop it up here on the screen so you can read it for yourself. But essentially, it boils down to, hey, you're too good looking for metal. You can't play death metal if you look so nice. Which of course is preposterous. I really thought that we'd gotten over this sort of thing a few decades ago. And, loads of bands have broken the mold of the traditional metal look, and even in some of them being pretty brutal and pretty heavy. And don't get me wrong, I'm absolutely fine with bands having an image, pushing an image, or the image that they choose to present being part of the creative delivery of the project. For example, in black metal, obviously, use of corpse paint, black clothing, aggressive looking boots, perhaps some chains, spikes, bullet belts, stuff like that. Same thing, if you've got like a really old school thrash band, you might see a bit of that, but maybe with, I don't know, denim and sneakers and a vest. Certain bands, decide that, it's much more of a casual look, and it might just be jeans, a hoodie, and maybe just like a chain wallet or something like that. Different bands go for different things. For some bands, the visual element is super, super, super important part of the presentation, and maybe there's a real theatrical element to the band, like with say the likes of black metal, that there is a clear thing ingrained in the genre of the presentation of it. With death metal, I find less so. There's definitely people within the death metal scene, I would say, that do have that kind of, I don't know, almost biker look about them. There's a lot of leather going on, maybe a lot of chains going on, big beard, the long hair. But I wouldn't say it's exclusive. I know plenty of people who play death metal and listen to death metal, consume it, that don't necessarily dress that way. They might dress a bit more casual. Anyway, the drummer in question, I'll play you one of his clips, a short piece. Just check this out. Now, you tell me, does it really matter? The guy's a session drummer. No one's going to see him on the stage. He's not part of the band. He's a hired gun. It's a band or a songwriter that's gone to him and gone, I need drums done fast, I need them done to a high level, I'm willing to pay good money. Here's how I want you to do them. And then he decides, whether or not he wants to take the job, and if he does, then off he goes. He blasts through, maybe, I don't know, a couple of hours or something like that, works on them, sends the files back, and takes payment, upon completion. At no point is he going to be photographed to the band or anything like that. So what's the problem? If he was in the band itself, you might make that argument, sure, depending on the band's image. But some bands don't even bother too much with image. And if I turned up and saw an outrageously awesome death metal band or melodic death metal band or tech metal band or whatever it was, and they chose to play in like formal trousers and smart casual shirt or something like that, I've got to be honest, like, if the music is awesome and there's a vibe and there's chemistry, from the stage, I don't really give a damn, what they look like. They could, because bands just come in so many different shapes, sizes, and all of that. So even if he was in a band and looked like that, I don't give a rat's ass. Now, I don't really understand why some people do. There's a sort of, must be this tough guy image. Yeah, no, I don't know. I think it's kind of childish. Let me know what you think in the comments. Obviously, that's just my opinion, but yeah, I thought the whole thing was really silly. I mean, I used the example, I actually replied in the comments, I used the example of Annihilator. I sort of joked, like, I'm sure Annihilator was sitting there in the studio listening to Mike Mangini, who at the time had a short haircut and was there basically just jeans and a vest or something like that, and he had the short, neat hair, and I'm sure they were sitting there in the control room listening to him whiz by at these amazing tempos, but they were like, oh no, I don't know if we should hire this guy because he's too good looking and too smart, and he looks a bit straight-laced for us. No, they were sitting there losing their shit in the control room because they couldn't believe what he was playing and how amazing it sounded. Because he just eats the stuff for breakfast. If you're that level of musician, and you're a top-tier band, and you're using a session guy, how it sounds and how quickly they can do it, how effortlessly they work through it, and how effortless they are to work with, that's the important stuff. The other stuff doesn't matter. So it's like, let me know what you think in the comments, but what I would say to that guy is, like, damn dude, grow up. Just grow up. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Take care. Bye bye. I'll see you in the next one.